Hello children, welcome to the science online class. Already we have seen some topics in the lesson combustion and flame in the part 1 video. Now we are going to see the balance topics. Okay, the next topic is types of combustion. Okay, so they have asked bring a burning matchstick or a glass lighter near a gas stove in the kitchen. Turn on the knob of the gas stove. What do you observe? The matchstick will or the lighter will the stove the burner of the stove will be started to catch fire and start to burn. Okay, the flame will appear. Okay, so we find that the gas burns rapidly and produces heat and light. Such combustion is known as rapid combustion. Okay, if we bring the some heat energy that things produces the heat energy, they will immediately catch fire and start to burn. Okay, so this type of combustion is known as the rapid combustion. Okay, next one, there are substances like phosphorus which burn in air at room temperature. Okay, if the phosphorus like the white phosphorus will catches fire when it is at the room temperature. So, the type of combustion in which a material suddenly bursts into flames without the application of any apparent cause is called spontaneous combustion. Okay, the good example for the spontaneous combustion is the phosphorus. Okay. Okay, the next one. So, they have given spontaneous combustion of coal dust has resulted in many disastrous fires in coal mines. Okay, they will lead to the fire accidents in the coal mines. Okay, spontaneous forest fires are sometimes due to the heat of the sun or due to lightning strike. Okay, forest fire will be happen in this situation, that is they are due to the heat of the sun or due to the lightning strike. Okay, however, most forest fires are due to the carelessness of human beings. Okay, it is important to remember that the campfires must be completed extinguished before leaving a forest after a picnic or a visit. Okay, if we go to some forest places for picnic and we will produce the campfires, isn't it? So when we are leaving, just you have to completely extinguish the campfires. Okay, so it will be the fire accidents will be avoided. Okay, the next one, we generally have fireworks. Okay, fireworks on festival days. Okay, while in Diwali, what will you do? You will crack fires. Okay, so when a cracker is ignited, a sudden reaction takes place with the evolution of heat, light and sound.
Now the time is morning 10.
So, when a cracker is ignited, a sudden reaction takes place with the evolution of heat, light and sound. Okay, while you cracking a cracker, while you fire a cracker, it will produces heat, light and sound. Okay, a large amount of gas formed in the reaction is liberated. Okay, so we have seen that smoke will coming out of the crackers. Okay, burst crackers. So they are the gas. Okay. So such a reaction is called explosion. Okay, explosion can also take place if pressure is applied on the cracker. Without firing them, the pressure is applied, they will started to explode. Okay, so the next one also these are the three types, some types of combustion: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and the next one is the explosion. Okay, the next one, flame. Okay, observe an LPG flame. LPG means liquid petroleum gas, which we are using in our home to cook food. Okay, so can you tell the color of the flame? What is the color of the color of a candle flame? So you have to observe these things while your mother cooking. You have to go to the kitchen and observe the flame and the color of the flame. Okay, in the gas burners, and you have to observe the color of the candle flame. Okay, and also you have to recall the experience of burning a magnesium ribbon in class 7. Okay, if you do not have experience of burning the remaining items, in table 6.2 you can do that now. Okay, in table 6.2 they have given materials forming flame on burning. So in the first one they have given the material and forms flame. Oh, does it forms flames or not? If it is forms flames, you have to write yes. And in the third column, does not form flame. Okay, so you have to categorize these materials into forms flames and it does not form flame. Okay, so you have to fill this table. Okay, and look at the picture. 6 colors of the candle flame and the flame of a kitchen stove. It will be maximum in yellow color and it will be in blue color. Okay, and flames of kerosene lamp, candle and Bunsen burner. Okay, so this will be the kerosene one. Okay, this will be the candle flame produced by the candle, and this will be flame produced by the Bunsen burner. Okay, so the next one, structure of the flame. So they have given one activity 6.5. Light a candle, hold a 4 to 5 centimeter long thin gas tube with a pair of tongs. The tongs is like the sugar tongs. Okay, it will used to hold things. Okay, and introduce its one end in the dark zone of a non-flickering candle flame. Okay, you have to hold the thin glass tube. Okay, with the help of tongs, and you have to introduce into the one end of the glass tube into the dark zone of a non-flickering candle flame, like in the picture. Okay, so bring a lighted matchstick near the other end of the glass tube. Do you see flame? See a flame caught at this end of the glass tube after a while. Okay, if we hold the matchsticks near the other end of the glass tube, after few seconds the matchstick will catches fire. Okay, so what is it that produces a flame? Notice that wax near the heated wick melts quickly. You can see that the wax, okay, near the heated wick melts quickly. That is in this one, in this spot, near in this spot the wax will start to melt. Okay, so the substances which vaporize during burning give flames. Okay, while you are burning something, that substances which are vaporizing, they will give the flames. For example, kerosene oil and molten wax rise through the wick and are vaporized during burning. Okay, and form flames. Okay, charcoal on the other hand does not vaporize and does not produces a flame. Okay. So in activity 6.5, could the vapors of wax coming out of the glass tube be the cause of the flame produced? Okay, so in this activity, the matchstick will catches fire due to the vapors coming out of this candle. Okay, vapors coming out of this flame, they will use it to catch the fire on the matchstick. Okay, the next one, you have to take a lighted candle. So introduce a clean glass plate or a slide. Okay, we are using the biology labs in this slide. So we are using the glass plate or slide into the luminous zone of the flame. Okay, hold it there with a pair of tongs for about 10 seconds. So you have to keep this plate about to 10 seconds. Okay, then remove it. What do you observe? You will see the circular blackish ring is formed on the glass plate. Okay, like this, circular blackish ring. Okay, so it indicates the deposition of unburnt carbon particles. Okay, these blackish ring is due to the unburnt carbon particles will deposit on the glass plate. Okay, while it is that are present in the luminous zone of the flame. Now hold a thin long copper wire just inside a non-luminous zone of flame for about 30 seconds. So like this you have to long thin wire of copper. So you have to keep the one end of the copper wire into the non-luminous zone. Okay, non-luminous zone. So keep the setup up to 30 seconds. Then notice that the portion of copper wire just outside the flame gets red hot. Does it indicate that the non-luminous zone of the flame has a high temperature? Okay, in fact this part of the flame is the hottest part. Okay, so this activity, if we hold the copper wire up to 30 seconds, the part outside the flame, okay, this part, okay, outside the flame will be turns into red hot. So from this activity we can know that this part of the flame is the very hottest part. Okay, so the next picture they have given the parts of a flame, structure of a flame. In this one, the outer side, this is the hottest part, and this is only the non-luminous. Okay, this is only the non-luminous part. Okay, outer zone of complete combustion, blue, it will in the color blue, and middle of the flame it will be moderately hot. It is a medium. It is not very hottest and it is not very least hot. Okay, it will be moderate. So this is the middle zone of the partial. This is due to the partial combustion. So the flame will be in the yellow color, and this spot is the least hot, will be least hot. This is the innermost zone of unburnt wax vapors. Okay, this is in the color black. Okay, so these are the different zones of a candle flame. Okay, so they have given goldsmiths blow the outermost zone of a flame with a metallic blow pipe for melting gold and silver. Why do they use the outermost zone of the flame? So why they are using the outermost zone of the flame? So in that part only there will be more heat energy. So because that part is the very hottest part, so the goldsmiths use that part in the flame. Okay, the next one, what is a fuel? Okay, what is a fuel? Okay, recall that the sources of heat energy for domestic and industrial purposes are mainly wood, charcoal, petrol, kerosene, etc. These are the fuels nowadays we are using. Okay, these substances are called fuels. Okay, if we burn something, they will give the heat energy, enormous amount of heat energy. So that things are called as the fuels. A good fuel is one which is readily available. It should be readily available, and it is cheap. It burns easily in air at a moderate rate. It produces a large amount of heat. It does not leave behind any undesirable substances. Okay, sacrificing these conditions, then it is called as a fuel. There is probably no fuel that could be considered as an ideal fuel, because most of the fuels are giving some undesirable substances. So no fuel is the ideal fuel. We should look for a fuel which fulfills most of the requirements for a particular use. Okay, and fuels differ in their cost. Some fuels are cheaper than others. So you have to make a list of fuels familiar to you. Group them as solid, liquids, and gaseous fuels as in table 6.3. Okay, in the table 6.3 you have to prepare a table like this: solid fuels, liquid fuels, gaseous fuels. They have given one example. For solid they have given coal, for liquid kerosene oil, and for gaseous natural gas they have given. So balance rows and columns you have to fill. Okay, you can write any of the fuels other than these, you can write. Okay children, the next one, fuel efficiency. Suppose you were asked to boil a given quantity of water using cow dung, coal, and LPG as fuel. Which fuel would you prefer? So you have to boil some water, and you have given the fuels like cow dung, coal, and LPG. Which fuel you would prefer? You will always prefer the LPG, because it will be the um, fastest of this fuel. Okay, the LPG, using this LPG only we can boil the water in the short period. Okay, so you may take the help of your parents. Okay, do these three fuels produce the same amount of heat? No, the amount of heat will be differ for each fuel. Okay, the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kg of a fuel is called its calorific value. The calorific value of a fuel is expressed in a unit called kilojoule per kg. Okay, what is calorific value? The amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kg of a fuel. If any type of fuel you can take, if you take 1 kg of fuel and you have to completely burn, and they will give some heat energy, isn't it? You have to measure this heat energy. So that value, the amount of heat energy is called as the calorific value. Okay, and it is expressed in the kilojoule per kg. Okay, so they have given some calorific values of some fuels in this table. Cow dung cake, it will give 6000 to 8000 kilojoule per kg. Okay, 1 kg of cow dung cake will give 6000 to 8000 kilojoule, and wood 17000 to 22000. Like this they have given some fuels and their calorific values. Okay, go through this table. So next one, burning of fuels leads to harmful products. Okay, the increasing fuel consumption has harmful effects on the environment. Okay, so because we already learned that no fuel is the ideal fuel, all are leaving some undesirable substances. Okay, so burning of fuels leads to some harmful products and some harmful effects. Okay, so first one, carbon fuels like wood, coal, petroleum release unburnt carbon particles. These fine particles are dangerous pollutants causing respiratory diseases such as asthma. Okay, they have first given the carbon fuels. Carbon fuels means these fuels will be fully made up of carbon, like wood, coal, petroleum. They will release the unburnt carbon particles. So this will be the dangerous to our respiratory system. They will cause us the respiratory diseases such as asthma. Asthma is the severe wheezing problem. Okay, next one, incomplete combustion of these fuels gives carbon monoxide gas. It is a very poisonous gas. Okay, it is dangerous to burn coal in a closed room. The carbon monoxide was produced can kill person sleeping in that room. Okay, next, incomplete combustion of these fuels. Okay, so because every fuel should be combust, that is they should be burned completely. If they leave unburnt means it will produces the carbon monoxide gas. Okay, it is very dangerous and a poisonous gas. Okay, if the carbon monoxide is produced in the room and we are sleeping in the room means it will kill that person. Okay, so he thinks that why we are advised never to sleep in a room with burning or smoldering coal fire in it. Okay, we should not sleep in a room if some things are burning and a smoldering coal fire in it. Okay, the next one, the combustion of most fuels releases carbon dioxide in the environment. Increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the air is believed to cause global warming. Okay, combustion of most fuels releases the carbon dioxide, so it will lead to the problem global warming. Global warming you have already learnt in that lesson, isn't it? Some lessons. Okay, the rise in the temperature of the atmosphere of the earth. Okay, this is called as the global warming. This will result among other things in the melting of polar glaciers, which leads to a rise in the sea level causing floods in the coastal areas. If continuously the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is increasing means the temperature of the earth will be increased, so this will cause in the events of melting of polar glaciers. Okay, so if the polar glaciers are melting continuously, it will lead to the rise in the sea level. and causes the floods in the coastal areas. Okay, low-lying coastal areas may even be permanently submerged under water. Okay, so global warming will lead to such things. Okay, the next one, burning of coal and diesel releases sulfur dioxide gas. It is an extremely suffocating and corrosive gas. Moreover, petrol engines give off gaseous oxides of nitrogen. Okay, so oxides of sulfur and nitrogen dissolve in rainwater and form acids. Okay, burning of coal and diesel releases the sulfur dioxide gas, and petrol engines. Okay, petrol engines give off gaseous oxides of nitrogen. So both the sulfur oxides, that is the sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide, will dissolve in rainwater. Okay, and form acids. When they are leave to contact with the rainwater, they will produce as the acids. Okay, and these acids are dissolved in the rainwater. So such rain is called as the acid rain. It is very harmful for crops, buildings and soil. Okay, so you have already learnt about it in class 7. What is acid rain? How will they affect the crops, buildings and soil? Okay, already you have learned. Okay, so the next one, the use of diesel and petrol as fuels in automobiles is being replaced by CNG. CNG means compressed natural gas. Okay, because instead of using diesel and petrol, we may use the CNG, that is the compressed natural gas, because CNG produces the harmful products in very small amounts only. So CNG is a cleaner fuel. So it is our duty to decrease the pollution of air and decrease the global warming. So instead of using diesel and petrols like fuels like that, we can use the CNG. Okay, so that's all children, the lesson is over. So you can start to write the question answers in the classwork. Okay children, we will meet in the next class. Thank you children.